Okay, so good afternoon to all. We'll start with a new topic, that is head injury. Yes, the symptoms, the sign, everything will be very similar to stroke. Why? Head injury, as the name itself suggests, नाम ऊपर से आपने कह सका है कि it is nothing else but an external force that is applied to the head. Now, head consists of three other portions. We are going to discuss that in detail. બહારથી કોઈ પણ force આવશે and directly there is injury to the brain, directly or indirectly, that will be termed as head injury. Whereas stroke is something that is very internal, related to vascular structures, blood supply to the brain. Yes. So only difference is that, and also we are going to see some things like level of consciousness in a bit detail in head injury. So head consists of three things: skull and the brain. Skull, the skin over skin and the tissues over the bone, that is the skull, and within the skull is the brain. So skull, it consists of five layers. Five layers. Scalp itself is a short form, you can say, for S for skin, C for connective tissue, A for aponeurosis, L for loose areolar tissues, pericranium. Yes, pericranium, the outline of the cranium. So you can see diagrammatically, it can be very easily shown. The outermost layer is the skin. Beneath that is the connective tissue. Then comes aponeurosis or epicranial, loose areolar tissues, pericranium, and last is the bone, that is the skull. Skull is the hardest part of the brain, that is the second. First we saw the skull, now coming to the skull. Skull can be again divided into various forms. You've learned this in anatomy. Parietal lobe, occipital lobe, frontal lobe, temporal lobe. So the whole skull can be divided again into the lobes or the bones forming the same. Yes, parietal, occipital, frontal, temporal. Also, you are aware of the sphenoid, ethmoid, nasal, lacrimal, maxilla, mandible, and the zygomatic bones, which are present and make the whole face. Yes. So these are the parts of the skull that are very well explained to you during your anatomy. And now we'll be seeing if what happens, how can that be damaged. And the third structure that we want to discuss is the brain. Of course, yes, the whole CPU of the body. What are the parts and functions? You are very well aware. You learned in physiology also. So skull, dura, cerebrospinal fluid, blood vessels, frontal lobe, temporal lobe, parietal, occipital, cerebellum, and the brainstem, which are the main classification of the brain. What is the function of frontal lobe? Movement, intelligence, reasoning, behavior, memory, personality. So all this related to cognition and perception will be, cognition itself will be related to frontal lobe. Temporal, speech, behavior, memory, hearing, vision, and emotion. So most of spatial senses along with emotions is the function of temporal lobe. Parietal lobe, intelligence, reasoning, differentiating right from left, language, sensation, and reading. So language and perception, that is a function of parietal lobe. Occipital lobe responsible for vision, spatial sense, and cerebellum for balance, coordination, fine muscle control or fine motor activities. Brainstem is also responsible for breathing, blood pressure, heartbeat, and swallowing. So these are the vital signs. So if your brain stem is damaged in any way because of road traffic accident or any other cause, then there are chances the patient will not survive. Why? Because the vital signs will go away. The breathing will stop, blood pressure will increase or decrease, and there will be chances of hemorrhage or hypotension, and the patient may not survive. Blood supply, you very well know now, circle of Willis, yes, formation of basilar artery, and furthermore whole circle of Willis, you are very well aware, which mainly consists anterior communicating, middle cerebral, posterior cerebral, and anterior cerebral arteries. Yes, so the whole circle is formed through the basilar arteries. Basilar artery is formed from ICA and posteriorly through vertebral arteries. Coming to the main topic, this was structural and functional normal anatomy physiology that we already have learned. Now coming to head injury. So again, it can be divided into three regions that we are going to see. Brain will be the last, before that we'll see the skull, and the foremost is the skull. So how they are damaged, what are the signs and symptoms, all things we are going to see. Management together probably we'll see at the end of the whole head injury as a whole. So any injury to scalp, skull or brain is included in head injury. Yes, any injury to the outermost scalp, to the bone, that is the skull or brain, yes, is termed as head injury. But always remember, it should be external, बाहर होगी चाहिए, not from within. If it is through within, there are chances it is either stroke or some other pathological neurological condition, but not head injury. Into three, as we described, scalp, brain and skull. So they can be either fractured or there can be any trauma. So if it is in scalp, there can be infection or it can be directly wound. If it is in the skull, it can be fracture or a tumor. And if it is in the brain specifically, it can be traumatic brain injury, intracranial hemorrhages and tumor. Yes, three important terms: TBI, ICH and tumor. Scalp wound and tumor. So feminating cellulitis of scalp. Cellulitis, inflammation of the cellular squamous epithelium present in the scalp, directly leads to infection. Yes, because of infection there is inflammation. Because of inflammation there is, we can say, head injury. Squamous cell and basal cell carcinoma. Yes, that is specifically seen in males of old age. Yes, not that common, but when it happens, it is seen mostly in males. Papilloma, lipoma, and melanoma. Now, from the name itself, you can make it out. Papilloma is nothing else but you can say benign epithelial tumor. So it is benign condition, it does not grow much. Also it is incorporating you can say epithelial, that is the basal or the ground substance of the cells. Lipoma, as you know, is the fat containing cells. So you can say even adipose tissue, if that go under, which are present in the skull in small amount, if they go for carcinoma, that is lipoma, and melanoma, the cells containing the melanin, that are going for cancer, that is uncontrollable growth rate. Tumors of the skull. Now coming to the skull, that was about the scalp. In scalp, there are wounds and tumors. So for wounds specifically, there is cellulitis, squamous cell, basal cell carcinoma, papilloma, lipoma, and melanoma. After this comes skull. So for skull, there are two, benign and malignant. Overall, you know, cancer can either be benign or it can be malignant. Tumors can be benign or malignant. Benign means once it has grown, it stops the growth. But malignance means it will keep on increasing. Multiplication keeps on increasing, and that is more dangerous. Okay. So first thing that we want to learn in skull. Now skull, as you know, is a bone. So in bone, ivory osteoma in sinus. Yes, sinus are the gaps, natural gaps present, which are air-filled cavities in the skull that are responsible for maintaining your normal pressure over the whole skull. Yes, so if this cavity regions and the boundary formed by the bone goes for carcinoma, the cells start to multiply uncontrollably, then it is termed as ivory osteoma. Also osteoclastoma, that is the osteoclast, as the cell name suggests, osteoclast keep on increasing in number. Yes, that is termed as osteoclastoma. What is the function of osteoclast? You might have learnt already. Function of osteoclast. Osteoclast નું શું function હોય? Yes, please reply. What is osteoclastoma? What is the function of osteoclasts?
The breakdown of bone tissue.
Breakdown of bone cells, not the whole tissue, but cells. If the cells break down, then the tissue breakdowns. Very true. So osteoblasts are responsible for formation and osteoclasts are responsible for destruction of the bone. Yes, bone cells specifically. So this, if they increase, that means the bone will, osteoclasts are increasing in number. That means the bone itself will become, density of the bone will decrease over time. Okay. After this, malignant tumors are also present. So you can say malignant tumors are again of two types: osteosarcoma, and this is mainly associated to vascular and pulsatile, and secondary carcinoma, that is clear areas with irregular margins. So osteoclastoma, it mainly occurs in long bones, but it can also be seen in skull. Also, osteosarcoma is specifically related to the cells which are supplied enrichedly through the blood. That is why the term vascular is used. Yes. And secondary carcinoma is something, a carcinoma not originally of the skull. If skull mathi originate nathi, it might be malignant from other regions of the body. Say for example, a patient already has pulmonary cancer, lung cancer, and from there cells have come on to the skull, and thus in the skull they are multiplying again. Yes, so that is secondary carcinoma. Because of some primary site, secondarily in the skull it may form. Fractures are also common in skull. Yes, if there is injury from outside, the force will be as such. Say for example, road traffic accidents, gunshots, direct trauma through a stick or any. So that is all leading to fracture of the skull. So fracture can again be divided into various parts. The first and most common is comminuted. Yes, directly a hole padi jai, you can say, and there will be multiple lines you can see that can be seen through the part that is being injured. Linear, that is you can see a line that can be either in the plane of the normal sutures or can be even transverse. Depressed, that is one part of the skull will be removed and that will cause depression. Ek part bone no akho nikli jase to tyan depression form thai jase. And last is the basilar, which is the most traumatic and very hard to treat. Yes, fracture of the skull, basilar, at the base of the skull. It is, you can say, combination of communicated and depressed at the base of the skull. Yes. So it can lead to anterior cranial fossa, medial cranial fossa, and posterior cranial fossa destruction directly. Yes, depending on the site. These were the types that we talked about: comminuted, linear, depressed, and basilar. Now this can happen anywhere in the skull. So anterior cranial fossa can be affected, middle cranial fossa, and posterior cranial fossa. Either of the three can be affected. If they are affected, if the fossa are affected directly, their breakdown will lead to vital changes in the brain. Yes. If there is anterior cranial fossa fracture, there will be rhinorrhea, that is unstoppable bleeding from the nose. Yes, unstoppable bleeding continuously from the nose. Ecchymosis means bloodshot eye. You can say, or you can feel, the eyes are completely red with blood. Yes, the blood is leaking continuously into the eyes. That is ecchymosis. Yes, so these terms you need to remember: rhinorrhea and ecchymosis. Epistaxis and facial palsy and deafness are common when we talk about the middle cranial fossa. Middle cranial fossa fractures, epistaxis and facial palsy and deafness are common. So epistaxis is similar to rhinorrhea, or you can say bleeding from the nose. It can either be, you can say, spontaneous or after a long period of time. So say for example, injury hamna thai savare, but afternoon or evening the bleeding start thai jai. That is termed as epistaxis. And facial palsy and deafness are also common. Yes, because middle cranial fossa is mainly associated with parietal and temporal lobes. Posterior cranial fossa, if it is swelling at the upper part of the neck, and ecchymosis near the tip of mastoid process, which is also termed as Bettel's sign. Yes, this is one of the diagnostic signs in traumatic brain injury. Now you might think this is less common, but more often you see such type of injuries in sports. Yes, say for example in cricket and football. Cricket ma achanak જ ball head upar lage. Yes, that might also cause Bettel's sign. A patient is running towards each other and they fall. They strike towards each other. Accidentally, they fall on each other. That time also there are chances the patient will have such a Bettel's sign. So directly looking at this sign, you will be able to diagnose the patient is having traumatic brain injury. He or she should not be allowed to play, and later on give them rest and proper medication. So swelling is there on the upper part of the neck, and ecchymosis, you can see change in the discoloration behind the ear, which suggests the posterior cranial fossa fracture. Injury to the brain, the main part, traumatic brain injury. Yes, it happens 1.5 to 2 millions TBI per year. Yes, 1.5 to 2 million. Yes, 15 to 20 lakh individuals get TBI per year. Of this, 50,000 die. Yes, so 15 lakh mathi 15,000 on the spot will die because of the injury, because the injury is specifically in the lower regions where the vitals are maintained or vitals are regulated from the brain. 2 lakh 30,000 survive and 80 to 90,000 are disabled. Yes, so even if the patient is saved, there are secondary changes. The patient will not be able to do many things, and there our role as physical therapist and neurophysician comes in. 50% is caused by motor vehicle accidents or RTA, road traffic accident. 25% by fall from a height specifically. 15% by assaults and violence, direct violence in any form. It can be in form of, we can say, direct blow with a stick, direct blow with a gun, anything. That is 15%. And 10% is sports and recreation. Yes, not involved in violence, but then also during sports, as we talked about in cricket, in football, in baseball, all these things, there are chances of injury. So that can directly cause traumatic brain injury. Mechanism. There are mainly two mechanisms, primary and secondary. So primary means at moment of impact of injury. Directly jare injury થાય છે, હમણાં injury થઈ, someone is throwing something at you and you get the injury and brain is damaged, that is primary. Secondary means due to swelling or edema or intracranial hemorrhage resulting from trauma. Yes, same thing, pathology of stroke we had talked. એક જગ્યાએ, say for example at one point in the brain there is injury. Because of this injury there will be inflammation. Because of inflammation there will be swelling. Swelling na લીધે intracranial pressure વધશે. Intracranial pressure વધશે એના લીધે બીજી જગ્યાએ intracranial pressure ના લીધે there will be injury. Yes, because of that injury, second injury જે થઈ because of increased intracranial pressure, there will be again inflammation, again swelling, again there will be increase in intracranial pressure and this cycle goes on. Yes, same thing. એકવાર brain ને injury થશે, ત્યાં inflammation થશે, swelling આવશે, swelling ના લીધે intracranial pressure વધશે, intracranial hemorrhage form થવાના chances છે, and later on because of these changes there are chances secondary impairments or secondary injury can happen to other parts of the brain which are not directly affected trauma. Directly trauma ના લીધે એમાં કાઈ નથી થયું, first trauma ના લીધે બીજી જગ્યાએ affect થાય છે, that is secondary mechanism. Okay, something that I would like to show, so for that let me just join in. Okay, hope I'll be visible to all of you. Okay. So now there are three main primary brain injury types. Yes, primary is what we will be directly first of all focusing on, because primary nahi thai to secondary almost nothing will never happen. Yes, because of primary only secondary happens. So the first thing is deceleration type of injury. After that is acceleration type of injury. So deceleration type of injury means, say for example you are going in a car, the car meets with an accident. What will happen? Because of the inertia your head will move forward. Yes, so you are decelerating at that time. You are hitting something, say the example dashboard right in front of you. તમારી સામે dashboard છે, અચાનક કાર ઊભી રહી ગઈ, and because of that your head gets struck with that board. Yes, so this is termed as deceleration injury. Your head moves in the anterior direction. So caused by traffic accidents when moving head strikes immovable object, may that be a truck, may that be dashboard or anything else. After that comes acceleration injury. Say for example someone is throwing something at you, ball or something of large mass, and your head goes for backward motion. This is termed as acceleration injury. Your head, this is based on inertia. બરાબર, આપણે બસમાં હોય અને બસ અચાનક સ્ટાર્ટ થાય તો what happens? Your head or your whole body moves backwards. Yes, so that is acceleration. When the bus stops, અચાનક જ ઊભી રહી જાય બસ, તો શું થશે? Your head and your body will move forward. So that is termed as deceleration type of injury. Acceleration injury when stationary skull is struck by moving object with considerable mass. Yes, it should be considered tennis ball having lage to your head does not move in acceleration. It does not cause even traumatic brain injury. So mass is important. Penetrating objects like bullets, missiles, sharp toys, anything as such, bullet shot directly, yes, that will lead to penetrating. It will penetrate right inside the skull and will injure the brain. Yes, this is at most important and you need to understand this in detail. So, something known as coup counter coup mechanism. Yes. So, say for example, okay, first remember this term coup counter coup mechanism. Yes, of head injury or traumatic brain injury. So, what is it? Whenever you are striking, or you can say you are sitting in a car, right now I'm sitting in a car, assume that, and my head અચાનક જ હું બ્રેક કરું તો શું થશે? My head will try to move into the deceleration force. Deceleration ના લીધે brain આખું આગળની બાજુ આવી જાય. Now first imagine the brain is a structure that is suspended jelly like fluid. Yes, skull એક cavity છે, એમાં brain એક structure છે જે jelly ની જેમ તરે છે, you can say. Yes, it is suspended in the surfaces. After this, when my head is moving to deceleration, તો brain આખું આગળની બાજુ આવ્યું, તો આગળ મને injury થઈ. brain આગળ skull માં આવ્યું તો એમાં injury થશે. Now I am controlling the motion and moving back, તો excessively back જવાશે. Yes, this happens, you might have seen in the movies also, something known as whiplash injury. Yes, શું થાય? અચાનક જ બ્રેક લાગી આગળ આવે and then પાછળ જાય. Yes, if the neck rest is not there, head rest is not there, the head will go for hyperextension. જો હેડ હાઇપર એક્સટેન્શન માં જાય તો બ્રેન અગર પાછું આગળની બાજુથી પાછળની બાજુ જશે. યસ, your head is moved backwards. If that happens, injury will happen to the anterior portion as well as the posterior aspect of the brain. Yes, this is termed as coup counter coup mechanism. This happens in whiplash injury. Now to assume I am sitting in the car that is moving forward, so I am decelerating vigorously, or a driver sitting next to me is decelerating vigorously, so my head will go for first deceleration, then it will go for acceleration. Yes, to control the motion because of inertia, this happens. So head is thrown backwards while the brain hits the front of the skull. So if it is thrown back, the skull will be put forward. Yes, skull પાછળ જશે પણ brain ત્યાં inertia ના લીધે આગળ injure થશે. And if the head is moving forward, skull ત્યાં ને ત્યાં છે, or skull has moved forward, brain ત્યાં ને ત્યાં છે, તો posterior aspect માં injury થશે. Yes, both things injury will be there, and because of this acceleration and deceleration, there is injury to the brain, which is termed as coup counter coup mechanism of brain injury. Yes, utmost important, you need to remember this term. Mainly happens in whiplash type of injuries. This was primary. Coming to secondary brain damage, mainly caused due to lack of oxygen in high oxygen demanding brain. Say for example, injury થઈ છે already, or ischemia is there, when the oxygen level and the blood hemoglobin level is low, at that time જે injury થશે, that will be secondary change. Yes, directly મને કાઈ પણ લાગ્યું, brain ને directly injury થઈ, પણ that region if given proper oxygen તો એ normal થઈ શકે હજી, so that is secondary. કે normal નથી થતું, why? Because oxygen level is decreased in the body, demand is more. Cell death occurs due to bursting of swollen cells or by change in the DNA within the cell. Now, every cell, as you already know, consists of nucleus. Nucleus consists of the DNA. This DNA itself, if it is going for injury and the cell itself is injured, it will become inflamed. Inflamed means swelling, but the swelling is so much, it will burst open. Yes, એટલું બધું swelling હશે કે burst open થઈ જશે. તો એ burst open થયું એટલે કે cell will never come back, and that will lead to secondary brain damage. Glutamate neurotoxicity, influx of calcium and other ions and cytokines lead to cell death. So glutamate, it is a neurotransmitter. If it is in excessive, it causes neurotoxicity. Nerves become toxic, or you can say it is harmful to the nerves. It will cause death of the nerves. Also, influx of calcium and other ions and cytokines, if they excessively drop in because of the injury, there are chances the nerves function will be hampered and will lead to secondary brain damage. Brain is nothing but collection of various nerves, collection of millions of nerves and neurons. Yes, so એનું collection ને ક્યાંય પણ એક જગ્યાએ injury થશે, excessive amount of influx of ions થશે, so a part will be damaged, and once damaged, neurons, as we already know, are irreplaceable or irreversible damage. And increase intracranial pressure, as we have seen in stroke, pathophysiology that we have seen in detail in stroke. Focal injury, diffuse axonal injury, increased intracranial pressure, cerebral hypoxia, ischemia, intracranial hemorrhage, and electrolyte and acid balance imbalance. All this leads to pathophysiology. Pathophysiology One by one we are going to see. The first thing is focal injury. Directly એક જગ્યાએ injury થઈ છે or diffuse axonal injury એક જગ્યાએ axon cut થઈ ગયા છે. Yes, because of the injury axons have been cut at a specific point, so that will be termed as focal injury and diffuse axonal injury. Second, increased intracranial pressure, we have described this already. Cerebral hypoxia and ischemia, the third important thing, oxygen level decreased કોઈ બોડીમાં and there is increased demand. Injury ના લીધે damage થયું છે, but that is still reversible if there is a stage of ischemia. But બોડીમાં oxygen નથી એટલું એ supply કરી શકે, so it will lead to secondary change. That is the third thing, pathophysiology. Intracranial hemorrhage, directly hemorrhage within the cranium, skull ની અંદર directly hemorrhage હશે, intracranial pressure વધારતું જશે and ultimately will lead to secondary more and more amount of changes. Electrolyte and acid base imbalance, as we already described. Electrolyte કોઈ પણ વધી જાય, calcium ions or other ions become more, or glutamate, which is a base, if it increases, may there be a neurotransmitter, if that increases it causes imbalance. Imbalance na lidhe directly there will be chances of more and more injury. Okay, so focal injury localized to area of brain under the site of the impact, damage in the form of hematoma, edema, contusion, laceration and combination of anything. Hematoma formation means ક્યાંય પણ injury થાય અને જે first reaction આવે, the clot that is formed, that is hematoma. Hematoma ના લીધે there is change in the nearby cells and because of that it causes edema. After that, what is contusion and laceration? Contusion means, if you remember your anatomy, the skull, yes, the skull is not a smooth bone. Yes, Emma, you have seen various projections. Yes, various projections which can, if its brain, if it comes in contact with this projection, it will injure the part. So directly coming in contact with the brain, the skull, the regions of the skull which are pointed, sharp, that can injure the brain, that will be termed as contusion. And laceration means, you can say, when we are going for deceleration and acceleration injuries or coup counter coup mechanism of injury, at that time the brain is continuously in motion while the skull is relatively stable. Yes, relatively stable means અહીંયા skull પહોંચી ગયો during deceleration, brain પાછળ જાય છે, so it is moving, so it will come in contact with the structure or with the projections that are present in the skull, તો એને you can say ઘસાશે, that is termed as laceration. And any combination of any of this, hematoma, edema, contusion or laceration, that is first pathophysiology of traumatic brain injury. Severe blow to head leads to brain damage, not directly in the site of impact but also opposite site of impact, coup counter coup, brain bouncing in contact with no other opponent side and coup counter coup injury. Yes, so the same thing that we already discussed in deceleration and acceleration is shown in the flowchart form. So, as we talked about, when there is deceleration, when the head is coming forward, the skull is forward, the brain will try to remain there, so the injury will be at the back region. And when the head is coming in the posterior direction, the skull will go for posterior, it is now stable, brain will try to be there and there will be anterior portion that will be damaged. So this is coup, that is the front region, and this is the counter coup, that is counter blow. Okay, we'll keep it till here. Next, diffuse axonal injury, that is also the first point along with the thing that we have discussed about the focal injury. We'll be discussing in the next lecture, that is the last lecture that we have today. Yes? Okay. Any doubts till now you have? Please let me know. Kai na samjhanu ho, you want anything to be repeated? We first described about the normal anatomy and physiology. So scalp, skull and brain. Scalp is again 5 regions. Skull, hardest part of the brain, head, and the brain, the function, normal functions you have known. Now coming to head injury. For head injury, we described 3, scalp, brain and skull. Scalp will have wound, that is cellulitis specifically, and infection and carcinomas. Skull is fractures and tumors that we already described, and the brain, now we are describing various mechanisms. Yes, various mechanism, primary and secondary mechanisms of injury, and after that we saw more about the hook counter hook mechanism. Yes, any doubt in this anywhere, you are free to ask. Please reply in chat, yes or no. Okay. Fine. Fine. So we'll keep it till here. Purva, have you taken attendance?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. So again, we are meeting in the last lecture.